Hi guys, I'm Shelley, welcome back to my channel, and the Barking About Books book tag. Woof. So this is a recent book tag thought up by the lovely Eric over at Break Even Books in honour of his rather wonderful dog Max, who I saw the photos of and was just like, oh, so cute. But sadly Max recently passed away, and so to honour his dog he wrote the Barking About book tags. And I am here for it. I was prompted to do this by the lovely Moon Book, so thank you very much for introducing me to this tag because... So, question number 1, I've got a bone to pick with you. Name a book that was good until it wasn't. So basically a book that you really enjoyed but ultimately were disappointed by. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. The wonderful woman who thought up the Hunger Games in her head did a prequel, and the first 2/3 of the book were brilliant. So it followed President Snow before he was President Snow. And a lot of people didn't like this idea, but I really did, because I'm just like, he's an interesting character. First 2/3 of the book, I understood. He ends up being a mentor, and I think maybe not the first Hunger Games, maybe like the second or the third. My memory's not great. Starts to bond with his tribute, and they have this kind of backwards and forwards, and you understand where he's coming from and how his brain kind of works, and then it all went to I'm sure it didn't for a lot of people, but for me personally, I was not keen on the ending section of the book because I didn't understand where Snow's head went. Question 2, Welcome Home, a book that gives you all of the snuggly feels like a dog when you get home and they jump on you. I really wish I had a dog. Ironically, is it ironic? I'm going to go with The Martian by Andy Weir, which is about a guy who is stuck on Mars and can't get home. So Mark Watney goes to Mars with a group of people, an expedition of people, to look at plant life and see if you can have life on Mars. Is there life on Mars? Is that a tune? I probably don't know. What am I talking about? Martian by Andy Weir. So Mark Watney goes to Mars with an expedition. There's a storm, they have to leave really quickly. Accidentally he kind of gets knocked off course and doesn't leave with them, which means he is left on Mars all on his own. I read it when I need comfort, which is weird because it's about a guy in isolation stuck on his own, but because I kind of live my life like that, being a chronically ill person, I can relate. I really can. I mean, Mark Watney goes nuts and I'm slightly nuts. Question 3, Roughing It, a book that has a journey or travel element to it. I've gone with The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is about a world where teenagers start getting powers, whether it's telekinesis or X-Men stuff. It's a really bad analogy. They kind of get superpowers, and the adults don't like this because obviously the kids are getting powerful, and they start rounding up kids and putting them into camps depending on their powers. Anyway, Ruby, teenager, she escapes, all hell breaks loose, these things happen, and she meets up with a band of people, which is Liam, Chubbs and Zoo. It is basically 4 kids on a road trip trying to get where they're going while getting away from the powers that be. And so it is a road trip, and also I read it as a buddy read with a friend of mine called Elena, so it also has that kind of friendship element to it that I read it with a friend of mine. I really liked it. Oddly, I didn't go on and read the sequels, and I'm not sure why. I think because it was a really long book, and I was in a place where I didn't want to read really long books, but maybe I should pick up the sequels. Next question, Marking Your Territory. Name a book or series that you will stand by no matter what. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I admit it has its problems, I admit it's not perfect, but it came to me in a time when I really need it. Being I am a chronically ill person, I had that connection to it. I was just like, oh wait, some of the things that Hazel goes through in this book, I go through, as it is about a kid who has cancer and who has to live with the consequences of cancer, and it comes across as living with the consequences of a chronic illness, even though that chronic illness, you know, is killing her. I didn't have cancer and I don't have cancer, but I had a chronic illness that was trying to kill me, so I recognised the language that she used when she was like in pain, and it's like, am I actually going to die this time? Because that would be helpful, because I'm fed up of being in pain. I just want it to end. It's a love story between Hazel Grace and Augustus Waters. It has a sort of a twist ending, kind of. I mean, it's been out long enough now that everybody knows the twist ending. I will stand by it because it meant the world to me at the time, and I have multiple copies of it, and it is what I needed when I needed it. and so I love it. Digging holes. What is that song about digging a hole? It's by Bernard Cribbins. No, it's gone. Anyway, a book that had hidden secrets or a big plot twist. Contact by Carl Sagan. How do I say this without saying the plot twist? I mean, there's been like a big blockbuster movie that came out in like the mid-90s, so most people would know this. It is about Ellie, who is a young girl who becomes a science astrologist. I don't know. She looks at the stars for a living. I'm not good at language, we all know this. So she looks at the stars for a living and she's actually looking for little green men. She's looking for aliens. She might have accidentally found some, which is sort of a plot twist, not really. I mean, it's about space, you kind of get the idea. I mean, one of the main plot devices is the fact that there is a hidden message inside the message that aliens send to Earth, and they have to find it. And there is sort of a hidden message for Ellie as well inside of all that, and it's layer upon layer upon layer of things. I read this after I'd watched the film. I'm not sure if that's the right way around, but I loved the film. Like, the Jodie Foster film, it's my jam, but I realise it's not really true to the book. They pimped the book, basically. Next question. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. I'm singing again. This is never a good sign. Name a book or series that portrayed a really, really loyal friendship between characters. I'm going with a recent read, which is Girl Meets Duke series by Tessa Dare, which I read on the back of my friend Kathy reading, so it was also kind of a buddy read thing that my friend told me to read it. It is a erotic romance series. It's a Mills and Boon. There will be, I believe, 4 books in the entire series, and each book follows a woman as she meets a guy that she's not necessarily compatible with, but it turns out in the end she is compatible with. There's Emma, Alex, Penelope and Nicola. Knitted together. They all think the men that are in their lives are ridiculous. They take the mick out of them. They have this extremely loyal friendship that holds this series together, which I really enjoyed as an extra element to the normal trope of, you know, girl meets grumpy guy and ends up, you know, making him not grumpy. Next question, Tug of War. A book that you have very mixed feelings about. Sisterhood Everlasting by Anne Brashears. This is the last in, I believe, 4 books in the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants series, which revolve around 4 friends, Tibby, Cameron, this is testing my memory, Bridget and Lena. 4 girls who grew up together. First summer that they're separated, they share a pair of jeans between the 4 of them that magically fit the 4 of them. They write letters and send the trousers on, or the pants on, to the next person, and something remarkable may happen while they're wearing said jeans pants. They're all grown up now. I believe they're past college age. Lots of things happen in this book that I wasn't sure about. Lots of the characters seemed to go against what we learnt about them in the first 3 books. If you haven't read the series, I don't want to spoil it. Characters fell apart for me, but I still loved this series. I loved the story of these 4 women and how each of them grew in their different way, and they all did different things and they all had different trauma in their background, but they grew up knitted together. It's a very, very strong friendship series, and I really, really enjoyed it for that. But the plot, I believe, let the 4th one down. And last but not least, Treats, a book that you are super excited about and that you will treat yourself to. Literally only found out about this book about 2 hours ago. There is going to be a sequel to What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. It's not coming out till next year, but you know I'm going to pre-order it. You know I'm going to buy a hardback. You know if there's a signed edition, you know I'm going to buy it because I loved this friggin' book. So there is going to be a sequel, and the way Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera write together is beautiful. I love them separately. I love Simon vs. Homo Sapiens and Homo Sapiens. I can't speak. I love the Creekwood world that Becky Albertalli has written. Adam Silvera's relationships that he writes within slightly dystopian worlds that are very, very much like our own, but there's just like one element changed. And together, it's heaven, and they're gonna write a sequel to this damn book, which is Arthur and Ben, or is it Arthur and Ben? I can't remember which is which, but they meet, they have a sort of meet cute, and then they search for each other, and they find each other. But instead of this book being all about the meet cute and, oh, we're gonna meet up and live happily ever after, it actually does the happily ever after bit. It follows the relationship that happens after you do the meet cute. And it doesn't quite go to plan. I'm super excited for the sequel. It doesn't even have a title yet. They literally released that it's going to happen today. And that is the Barking About Books tag, which I really enjoyed. So thank you very much, Eric, for making it up, though I'm sorry that it came under such sad circumstances. As an added bonus, Eric asked us to talk about our own little fluffies, our own little pets that mean the world to us, as a kind of happy ending to each of these videos. I've had hamsters and guinea pigs in the past. The most memorable pet thing I can think to share is that my brother once had 2 Russian dwarf hamsters for his birthday. He went to a rather well-known pet store here in the UK, bought what he thought were 2 males. You can guess where this is going. We woke up a couple of months later to find what looked like maggots in the bedding. 6 babies. We had 6 babies. I kept 2, my aunt had 2, my brother's friend had 2. Sadly they all came to tragic ends, but forgetting that part, it's the most memorable thing I can think of. Thank you for joining me on this rather probably long video. And getting longer because I'm having more trouble communicating than normal. It's a whole big thing. Let's just ignore that part, shall we? I do want to mention that I've recently started a Ko-fi account. Can you tell I'm good at this? Plugging things never goes well. If you would like to support this channel, and if you would like to buy me basically some better lighting, because we're now in the autumn winter time here in England, and I have a window that sometimes glares and is not very good. So if you would like to help support me, 1, buy me caffeine, which is the only way these videos get made, and bad idea. 2, help me buy a ring light. That would be wonderful. I will leave links down below. I will also leave links to Eric for coming up with this beautiful tag. And I will tag some people, obviously. Duh. I will tag some people down below. Thanks for watching. All of the things. I'm gonna go have some more caffeine or a nap. Bye.